Looking at the excrement in his hand, he ate it straight away, because it was the only food in the prison. What's even more perverse is that he was not allowed to make any noise. Every time he farted, he was beaten half to death. He doesn't know how he got in. He only remembered that the night before he was arrested, he had gone to help a gangster steal diamonds, and he quietly saved some of them to give to the woman he loved. All this, the gangster's men saw it all. Early the next morning, he was falsely accused of murder. He was sent to the darkest prison of his time, sentenced to life imprisonment. There was a custom in this place. On the first of every month, all new inmates would be given a change of clothes, and then they were sent to the Devil's Prison in South America to do free hard labor. They had to mine for 18 hours a day, so most people don't wait to get out. They end up dying of exhaustion or disease. As soon as he set off, he had heard that the prison they were going to was surrounded by sea. To get out of the prison, they had to pay off the boatman, and the one with the most money was this guy with glasses. He used to use a metal capsule. He used to put money in it, and then hid it in a special way in his body. So, Jack offered to work with the glasses, saying that anyone here would like to cut you open. If you pay me to break out of prison, I'll make sure you're safe. But Glasses said no. He trusted the guards more. At night, Glasses was suddenly woken up to find that his brother who had hidden the money with him was dead. Glasses is stunned. He watched as the killer walked away with the money, and the guards don't say anything. Early the next morning, he immediately approached Jack and agreed to his terms. That night, the killer came back for the money. Jack kept his word. He didn't sleep to keep the Glasses safe. But honesty has its price. The man who caused the trouble. 3 days and 3 nights chained to a table. No food to eat. They had to drink water when they were hungry. Luckily, the ship arrived at the prison quickly. They were only locked up for a day and then released. As soon as they arrived here, the warden called everyone in for a lecture. He said, "You must not think of escaping, for there are wild animals in the woods. There are sharks in the sea. No one ever gets out alive. And if I catch you, you'll experience what life is like to die." The warden said that and left. But Jack's mind got heavier. Although their job was to move rocks in the mines, but every day someone was either blown up or die of exhaustion. Who knows about tomorrow and the unexpected? Which will come first? What changed his mind even more was that 2 days later, the prison sirens suddenly blared. All the prisoners were summoned to the square again, and in front of them stood an ominous guillotine. It turned out that a man had escaped from prison and was caught by the warden. This man had accidentally killed the guard during his escape. So now, the warden wanted him to pay for his life. The job of disposing of the body. It was up to him and Glasses went limp at the sight of the body. The whole man was scared to death, but he was just a working donkey in the eyes of the warden. If he didn't do as he was told, he would take the whip and beat him. Jack was afraid that Glasses would be killed. He immediately hit the disciplinarian, but with that blow, he thought he had killed someone. He had to run, but he was too weak. He saw his pursuers approaching. He jumped into the water and swam away down the river. Late into the night, he ran alone to the river, trying to get the boatman to take him away. But to his surprise, a couple of shotguns suddenly appeared behind him. The warden had paid off all the villagers. No matter how much the escaped prisoner paid, the warden would always pay double. Escaped prisoner recaptured. The warden did not cut off his head. Instead, he wanted to destroy as much of his mind as possible. 2 years of confinement. No talking every day. No farting. Things to eat. Always yellow excrement. Time stands still here. The only thing he can do is look up at the sky. Slowly, he realizes that all the prisoners in solitary confinement are dragged away by the guards. It seems they've been driven mad for a long time. One day, 2 months later, the guards brought him a new toilet, and in this bucket, there was actually half a coconut and a note on the side. "You will get a coconut every day from now on." He gobbled it up right away, and he was smiling as he ate it, because there was someone else in this prison who was thinking of him. It was the Glasses he had saved earlier. He was the one who had saved his life. He soon became a big hit with the warden. To thank him for saving his life, he bribed the prison guards so that Jack could eat coconuts every day. But the warden was no fool. How can a man who's been so ravaged keep up with his exercise? Where does he get his nutrition? He immediately asked his men to look into the matter, but unfortunately his men were also paid. The warder who delivered the coconuts was silenced on the spot. He had no choice but to come and force him himself. "If you don't tell us who delivered the coconuts, you'll have your rations cut in half." But Jack didn't say anything. After a while, he was starving every day, and his muscles were losing their shape. The warden came back and asked him, "If you tell him who sent the coconut, this bowl of lamb soup is yours." Jack looked at the soup in front of him, then looked up at the warden. Slowly, he handed him the spoon. The warden was furious. furious. Immediately he asked his men to cover up the cell. He was to spend the rest of his life in the dark. This is the cruelest of prison sentences. When a man can't see anything, can't hear, or even feel anything, he is close to collapse. The warden's method worked. He would often have hallucinations. One day on the street, one day in his cell. He can no longer tell what is real and what was not. 2 years later, he too was dragged away by the guards. Glasses came to the hospital looking for him, seeing that the brother who had risked his life to save him, now a complete fool. He felt nothing but remorse. But then Jack says he's an old actor, so the breakdown was all fake. He'd never given up on the idea of breaking out of prison. Glasses said, next Sunday night, the warden will call a gathering of all the men. That's the perfect time to break out. The two of them hit it off, but you have to have help to break out. So 3 days later, they brought in 2 prisoners. The bearded man was to find the boat. The little boy was to distract the eyes in the cell, and Jack gets a box of tranquilizers. The glasses were used to numb the guards. Soon it's the day of the escape. Jack beat up the guards in the cell, and Glasses poured the sedative into a drink and gave it to the guards in their cells. But Jack and the others had come down too early. The drug had not yet taken effect. They had to work together to knock the guards out. They arrived at a prison corner, took advantage of the rainstorm, jumped off the prison wall one by one, but it's too high. The more the glasses look, the more they read, and finally broke their legs. They had to hold on to their glasses all the way. Found the boat that was used to escape from the beach. They had just escaped to sea. The boat leaked. They had to drain it and fix the leak at the same time, although the boat was almost repaired. But then came the more fearful storm. Everyone else was trying to fix the boat. Only the bearded man took up his knife. He wanted to kill the glasses, to make the boat lighter. The little boy was the first to resist, but the bearded man threw him into the sea. Then Jack pounced on him. The knife was dropped, but he was pinned to the boat by the bearded man. But Glasses are completely dumbfounded. He saw that Jack couldn't move. He grabbed the knife anyway. He took out the bearded man, but the ship was no match for the storm, and in the end it was swamped by the sea. Fortunately, after 2 days and 1 night of drifting, they were rescued by a primitive tribe. But unfortunately, this primitive tribe was close to the prison. Who knows if the warden paid them off? Jack wanted to leave, because the uniform must have revealed his identity. He asked for Glasses, but the glasses wouldn't go. He asks the boy wouldn't go either. So Jack had to go on his own. He knew in his heart, the glasses didn't want to slow him down, and the little boy was just plain stupid. That's when he spotted the prison car at the entrance to the village. Jack fled immediately, but the direction he was running was actually where the glasses were. He rushes to the room to take the glasses with him, but they were too late. The second escape failed. Back again. The warden's methods. It won't be so pretty.
不会那么好看了。
5 years of confinement had passed. He had turned gray. The warden said, I'm impressed you've survived this long, but as is the way after a prison break, you have to go to the next place. It's surrounded by sea. It's called Alcatraz. The strange thing is, there are no cells on this island. There's no violence, not even a single guard, but all the prisoners are mentally distressed. They never spoke. There is only one person who is normal, and that was Glasses. He had betrayed the warden. He arrived on Alcatraz 5 years ago. He had wondered why there were no guards, until he went around the island and discovered the island itself was a natural prison, except for a house and some fruit. There was nothing else. The thing that scares people most is the forbidden copper mine. So many people who have no hope ended up in a dead end, and their bodies are fed to the sharks by the guards, and then they find the one that's had the most to eat, cut up into shark meat pieces and sent to the island. The Glasses carried the shark for 5 years. Jack was his only hope for survival. Now he's here too. How could anyone not be devastated? He took Jack back to his room. He showed him the paintings he had made on the roof over the past 5 years. It was the only way to pass the time with the glasses. But it must be said, some people are born to worship freedom. He spent every day on the island looking at the sea for half a year, until one day, he took a coconut and threw it into the sea, and at the end of that direction was land. The one thing the island had no shortage of was coconuts, so they made a coconut boat to get to the cliffs before the tide went out. Before they set off, Glasses said, he's not leaving, he's staying here, he belongs here. Jack was surprised at first, but he was soon relieved. He knew that the Glasses had no hope of living, but more than that, he didn't want to drag him down. Jack threw the coconut boat down. After saying goodbye to his glasses, he mustered up the courage. He jumped into the sea. although the film is over. But the sad thing is, it's based on a true story. The original hero was named Papillon, escaped from prison 8 times in 13 years. He finally returned to normal society. Remember when Papillon was locked up for 5 years? The warden asked him, "What do you really want to live for?" Although Papillon didn't say anything at the time, but his actions have spoken for themselves time and again. A man can suffer, but never to lose one's freedom. For to lose one's freedom is a waste of life.